Oh, hey, welcome back. Hi guys, welcome.
How you doing?
Yeah, how you doing? Familiar spot for the Boston University Terriers back in the Frozen Four. And I think we'll just start as we begin with Coach Pandolfo. A few thoughts on familiar spot.
Yeah, we're excited to be back here again. I think at times this year, with the kind of inconsistencies in our game, I don't know if we had a great feel that we were going to find our way back here, but this group of players, the leadership group, 3 of these guys sitting up here today, they willed their way back here. They've done it all year, so I'm real proud of them. And again, we're happy to be here. St. Louis is a great sports town. They've been a great host up to this point, so looking forward to getting going tomorrow.
All right, questions in the back there on the left.
Eli Cloutier, Boston Hockey Blog. For you, Coach, if I were to, tell you after that Yale game in December that you guys would be back here on this stage, I guess just what would you say at that time?
I think I would have said that I still have plenty of belief in this group because of the players that we have, the players that have been here. I think sometimes it's good for a team to go through the adversity we've went through this year, as long as you learn from it. And I think we have in a lot of different moments. So I wouldn't say right after the game, maybe if you asked me, I would have said something different. But knowing these players that we have, I'd say, yeah, we'll find a way.
I believed Eli. That's because Bernie Corbett told me to. Worked out all right. Where is Bernie? Oh, there he is. He is here.
Don't worry, he'll make an appearance.
I know. I went back and listened to the questions from the regionals. I can't wait. John.
Thanks, Fish. John Worrell with the Associated Press. For Quinn, to kind of piggyback on that answer, just and the adversity that you guys, this group has faced, and to know that you're back here for a 3rd straight time, not having won a semifinal. I mean, what is the state, like your approach going into this, knowing how the adversity you overcome and where you still want to get to?
Yeah, I think coming into tomorrow's game, obviously the last 2 years haven't gone the way we've wanted, and I think I'm personally going to use it a lot. I think even guys that haven't experienced it on our team, I think they're going to look back and be like, wow, they didn't do it before, and I think they're going to want to do it for us as well. So I think it's a big moment, big opportunity tomorrow to get that back.
Good. All right. More questions, Todd?
Todd Molesky with USCHO. Shane, I wonder if you can speak to where you feel like your growth has happened as a player, but also as a leader, maybe, and if those two are intertwined and how you've gotten to this point in kind of helping the room along.
Yeah, I think, first of all, I think as a player, coming in as a freshman, you don't really know what to expect. I think you're just kind of trying to fit in right away and trying to gain confidence, and I think that goes in hand with leadership. Once I'm confident and once I know that I can lead by example on the ice, that's when I can start, using those other leadership tactics that I know work for this group. And like I said, I think it all starts for me with my play on the ice. That's the biggest thing for me, is just leading by example. And if I'm doing that, then I know I'm being a good leader.
Okay, over here on the right.
Kevin Ryans with Fox 2 News here in St. Louis. Earlier today, I had a chance to speak with the Gatau family, Logan and his dad. I know that he's been with you guys, for the last few years. This is for the players. Just what has Logan and his family, how they've helped uplift you guys' spirits throughout the seasons? He really seems to enjoy, 1, hockey, but 2, being a part of the BU family. So if the players can give a thought on that, thank you.
You want them all to talk on that?
Yes.
Yeah, Ryan?
Yeah, for me, Logie's just been someone who comes in before games and puts a smile on your face, brings a lot of energy. He comes in screaming most times and trying to hype us up. But no, the relationship with Logie and our team it's been awesome. It's been great to have him around, and I think it's pretty cool for him to be able to experience kind of what we go through, on game days and practice days, whatever it be. But yeah, it's awesome having him around, and I think it's great.
Quinn?
Yeah, he comes to all the home games, obviously, back in Boston, and every time we're warming up, right before the game, he walks in. He's always got a new haircut or something going on. It's either a mohawk or something crazy. He's got it going, and he's the most happy to be there, so it makes us all happy getting ready for the game.
Shane?
Yeah, I think it's just important to realize, what he's going through, and however we can help him, however we can help, make his day better. But also, I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if he realizes it or not, but he makes us so much more happy, and he puts a smile on our face. We might be stressed out, nervous a little bit before a game, and he comes running in, and you kind of forget a little bit about the game, and you just kind of loosen up. And yeah, he definitely makes the atmosphere in the locker room way better for sure.
Anybody been to St. Louis before? No, first time?
Yeah, I used to live on Fairview Heights on the
Oh,
Illinois
right
side.
here. So you've been up in the Arch?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You recommend it?
It's pretty cool, yeah.
He hasn't
I was
stopped
there a
talking
long
about it
time
since
ago,
we've been
but
here.
I don't think I'd go back.
Jay, you been up in the Arch?
I have not.
You've been here plenty of
I've
times.
been here.
Yeah.
I've been here, but not.
Maybe today?
I don't know all the time.
That's a no right here in front.
Justina Ricchini, Penn State Comm Radio. This one's for you, Coach. Can you talk about the impact your goaltender Yegorov has had on you, on your team, since coming over midway through the season? Just his impact ever since he's gotten on campus.
Yeah, he had an immediate impact for us. The first game we threw him in, he got right to the ice and got a penalty. So before we even started the game, but he just has a presence in the net. He's got an infectious personality off the ice where day one, I think these guys understood what type of kid he was, how much he cared, how grateful he was for the opportunity, all those things. He fit right in with our group. And then they realized how good a goaltender he was and how accountable he was at the goaltender position for our team was really important. One example, after that game that he got the penalty, he felt like it was his fault that we lost that game, which it certainly wasn't. And then he played really well after that. We had a tough game versus Providence where he wasn't at his best. And I wasn't in the room, but from what I understand, he stood up in the room and took blame, took ownership for it. And that goes a long way with your team. And he's been a special part of our group since he's stepped on campus.
Okay, in the front here.
Greg Palermo with Spectrum News. Quinn, I don't know if this being in St. Louis has special meaning for you, seeing kind of how youth hockey in St. Louis has grown and produced NHL caliber talent, obviously over the last decade or so, if you can speak to that.
Yeah, I didn't live here very long. It was when I was like 5 or 6 years old, but I remember growing up playing here, and my dad used to run the rink at Fairview Heights there, and he always had, like Clayton Keller came through, players like that, and my brother Cole now, he was born in St. Louis actually, so I think it's pretty cool coming back here. It all comes full circle.
Thanks, Greg. Men's Health in the back there.
My affiliation, Bernie Corbett Men's Health Magazine, still employed by them. I got two questions, so brace yourself. Jay, big turnaround for this team. I think people that might not know the Terriers, they look, your penalty kill percentage, 79%, not something you aspire to, but since the first of the year, it's 86%, it's top 10 in the nation. Just to give us some insight on how that changed, why it's changed, how it's changed.
Yeah, a couple of factors. First half of the season, we were taking way too many penalties, probably averaging about 5 or 6 a night. And having to kill that many off, it's going to wear your team down. You're going to end up getting scored on if you're taking that many penalties night in and night out. I thought we were a little too passive first half of the season, where we kind of sit in and let the power play kind of buzz around our zone, and we weren't killing plays and clearing plays quick enough. We made an adjustment in the second half to get more aggressive on the penalty kill, and it's helped us. I think it helps our team. It helps the way our guys play. It's a more fun way to kill. You're going to give us some chances here and there, and then that's where you need your goaltender to step in. And Big Mike's been really good in the penalty kill for us too. So I think all those factors combined is the reason why it's been that much better.
Thanks. And to any and all the players, you mentioned about Logan coming in and screaming, kind of gets you guys pumped up. When I came in and screamed before the Northeastern game, why did it have no effect? If anybody wants to weigh in on that.
Oh, goodness
I'm
gracious.
still a little paranoid.
It's because you weren't singing.
Lawrence. That was Shane for the person keeping track of the press conference that gave that answer. Thank you, Bernie. Mr. Peters, so back here.
Chris Peters, Flow Hockey. Shane, you won a championship in the USHL. I mean, how much the experience, and for any of you guys that have won championships at various levels, I mean, how do you kind of try to capture that feeling, and then also what are the things that you take from that you know you're right on the cusp of it here?
Yeah, I think anyone who's won anything can tell you that winning is addicting, and every time you win, you just want to keep winning. And I think for me, that's you know, something that I've been trying to do here. And obviously last year we came up short, so I think we're going to use that motivation as well as, you know, my leadership, you know, experience in the USHL, and, you know, try to take little things from that. You know, I think we got a really good group here, and I think, you know, we have what it takes to win. So we just gotta lean on that and, you know, get the job done.
Guys, anybody else want to jump in on that championship question?
I think obviously me and Ryan here have been here a while. Last year we didn't get as many championships as we wanted. I think 2 years ago Hockey East was a huge stepping stone for the program and getting back on top like we have the last 3 years. And this year had the chance to win in Ireland. I think that was like a small start to the season, and then the Beanpot was a pretty big win for us. And I think we still are holding a lot of confidence off of a win like that, and going to bring it in to the tournament this weekend.
Good.
I mean, I would just say, like, kind of like Shane said, you know, when you win, you want to keep winning. So for us, like, getting the Beanpot under our belt was huge, and I think a pivotal moment, like, for our team in this season. And you know, just being in the moment and, you know, having a lead in that game and learning how to manage certain situations in high pressure games like that is valuable. And I think that's, it's just something we can take down the stretch.
Ireland, how was that?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, what was the coolest thing?
Winning.
Yeah.
Outside of hockey, I should probably clarify that. You get to see any of the sites, or?
Yeah, we got around a little bit. We were there for a week, so it was nice. We kind of just got to check out different places. Got a couple tours and stuff, so it was fun.
Yeah, awesome. All right, Todd.
I don't know. Jay, I wonder, have the last few years impacted how you've structured the bye week, and what you know now that maybe you didn't a couple of years ago that you would do, that you've tried to do differently, I guess?
I don't know if there's a magic recipe when you have that much time off. I thought this year we maybe got a little bit more rest than we did the last 2 years, but we've went about it pretty much the same way. Like you don't want to change up too much either. We try to approach it like maybe you have bye weeks during the regular season, so try to approach it like that, making sure you're getting quality work in. Making sure you're trying to keep the guys focused. It's a bit of a tough task this time of year when you're on a high that you were on, coming off the regionals, and then knowing you have to practice for 10 days. It's not fun for anyone. So try to keep it fresh that way. But I don't think we've changed a whole lot in the last 2 years. It might be a good question for Ryan and Quinn if they've seen a huge difference. I don't see a huge difference from the last 2 years. And I don't know if that's going to make a difference from winning or losing a hockey game. I think we've prepared well. Thought we were very well prepared last year. We just, we were 1 goal short.
Ryan, anything on the difference?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we necessarily like changed up anything kind of, what we would typically do, with a week off. But just trying to get quality work in, get prepared, and be ready to go by puck drop tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the bye week is obviously tough. Just a lot of practice, and I think just staying focused on what we're practicing for. I think nobody wants to play more games than me. I get sick of practice a lot, just as much as the next guy. But I think just the last 3 years, just got to stay focused on what's ahead.
Andrew Mahoney, Boston Globe. This is for Quinn and Ryan. Along those lines, the last 2 years, you guys were the first team out on the ice for practice. You had the early game. This year you're out a little later. You're playing in the late game. Does that matter? Is there a preference either way? Does that switch things up, for you guys as you try to break through this year?
Quinn?
Yeah, I don't think I don't think it really matters at all. I think all season we've played at different game times all year, and I think it just matters when you show up. So I don't think it's a big difference at all.
Ryan?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. We've played some early games, we've played some late games, so I feel like we have a good feel for both of them. I mean, the late game gives you a little bit more time to prepare and get your body ready, but yeah, I wouldn't say there's anything crazy.
What is the optimal game time, Mr. Mahoney? What do you guys like? When do you guys like to play? Like, if you could pick.
6 o'clock.
6, yeah.
I like a 7 o'clock.
7, yeah.
Yeah, same. 6, 7 doesn't matter.
Yeah, Coach.
I used to like playing 1 o'clock afternoon Saturday. You know? Gives you a head start after the game. Dinner. Great dinner.
Dinner. Okay, in the back, Mr. Peters, and then we'll go to Mr. Wellens.
Chris Peters, Flow Hockey. Jay, this question for you. I mean, you know, obviously the rise of freshmen and the importance of freshmen in college hockey, especially true freshmen, seem to definitely be a big part of college hockey these days. You know, you guys obviously have quite a few of them. You know, how do you kind of get them ready for this situation? For many of them, one of the bigger stages they'll have played on.
Yeah, I think, I mean, for us, you know, we've, you know, historically we've gotten, you know, high quality players at a young age, and for the most part they've been in big games, whether it's World Juniors or U18 World Championships or whatever it may be. So I think they have a head start there, and I think for us we give our young players opportunities early on in the season to play in big roles, so they're comfortable when you get down the stretch this time of year, that they feel comfortable in those roles. And yeah, you haven't experienced that yet, but I still think they see that our staff has confidence in those young players where they feel good about their games, and that's what we did with these guys here. All 3 of these guys as freshmen played prominent roles for our team, so when you get to those big moments, you feel comfortable that, you know, you're ready for it.
How are we doing with the players? Do we have more for the players? If we don't, if we're good with them, we'll let them go. Good, you guys are good? Okay, guys, we'll let you go. Thanks, appreciate it, best of luck. We'll continue on with questions for Jay. Greg?
Thank you.
Could you identify yourself?
Sure, Greg Palermo with Spectrum News. The arrival last night, I don't know if you're all staying at the same hotel, but I think at least one team walked into the middle of a political campaign event. I wondered just kind of what the vibe was when you walked through that.
Yeah, that was us last night. I think I forget her name. I think. Yeah, there you go, Bernie. Yeah, I think she won, so it was a celebration. 6 to 34. Yeah, it's a big win, landslide. So yeah, it was, you know, it's a huge lobby there, so it really wasn't much of a factor. I was a little concerned that it was going to be loud in our rooms for our players, so they maybe wouldn't be able to get good rest, but I didn't hear anything. So yeah, it was different for sure.
Did you think it was for you guys?
No, because someone had said it when we had walked off the bus, so we were all aware of what was going on.
Nice, Matt.
Matt Wellens from the Duluth News Tribune. Jay, your main focus is obviously on Penn State and trying to get to the national championship, win a national championship, but recruiting never ends for a coach. How are you handling this time of the year with the transfer portal being open? You guys already got one pretty big name from the portal. How have you handled it in the past? Is there someone on your staff that kind of is monitoring things and leading that charge? How do you balance this time of the year right now?
Yeah, it's an interesting time of year for sure when you're still playing and the portal opens and, you know, players are in there, and it's definitely a balancing act. Our Joe Pereira, who's our associate coach, he handles a lot of it. He's very good at it. He has an understanding of, you know, some guys maybe we have an opportunity to attract, and I think for us it's a balancing act trying to sort out who's coming back next year, who's going to sign a pro contract. You have all those factors, but that's just part of being a head coach in college hockey. There's always constant change with your roster, and now with the portal, it does give you an opportunity to fill some of those spots when guys become available. So yeah, it's a challenging time when you really, you know, your focus really wants to be on Penn State more than anything else, but you still have to make sure that you're looking at what's available for next year, because you want to have a good team every year. So that's part of it.
Quick shout out to our, some of you know Ed Carpenter, longtime Boston University SID, who's been with us at many of these in the past, obviously now retired. And Ed was part of the group that helped create the name Frozen Four back in the day in the late 90s. So just thinking of Ed, and I know he's here with us in spirit, and of course his beloved Terriers. John?
Jay, John Worrell, AP. And another big picture issue is just the whole eligibility landscape. Could you have imagined, your days going to be you and having OHL players, just what does this do and how do you put your arms around this whole big issue that just seems to be ever changing?
Yeah, I think you just have to adapt to it. Whatever the rules may be, you just have to adapt as a program and try to sort out how you want to handle it. It's a bigger player pool, that's for certain. I don't know if we've 100% figured out how we're going to handle everything with the CHL, and I still think there's some rules that need to be sorted out, especially with drafted players, and I don't know how it's all going to end. I think things change week to week right now in college sports, so we're just ready to adapt to whatever rules come into play.
Just as the follow-up, could you have imagined this landscape back when you were in college?
I never really thought about it. I do think it was going to come to this point at some time, and now it's here. And like I said, you just have to adapt. No, back then you wouldn't have thought this was going to happen, but as a player back, you wouldn't even think about it. You wouldn't even really cross your mind because those were the rules, and that was what it was.
Okay, good. All right, Jay, thanks very much. Best of luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.